I'll start with XRP. So you can see here with this channel here, you've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's the 5th touch at the moment, yeah? So now when I zoom out, there are 2 more I want to point out. On the descend, 1, 2, 3, potentially we have 4 down here, okay? On the ascending, again you can see we've got a 1, 2, 3, we bottomed at 4 here, and potentially we're going to 5 here, so we could be going up, yeah? And you can see that that's playing out on this bigger channel here as well, yeah? So then locally when we go in, we're back on this one with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and again I think we're going to have a correction down here before we have our answer, and I'll tell you why. So I'm going to go to this chart, and from yesterday's conversation, I was relating where we are now to this place in the pattern, yeah. Excuse me. And we get our lift and our correction here, and then we get this gradual lift up, we get a drop, and then we get a final pump. And it did it all yesterday. So if you actually look at this, is this lift and this drop here is this movement here. And this was the FO, the core CPI, the information come out here, yeah. And then yesterday after this, it happened so fast. I was looking at this lift thinking we're going to have this correction, but this was it here. It just happened in a matter of minutes with the CPI. Then we had this slow gradual lift up. Look, here you have the slow gradual lift up, where I was in on a long, and I took profits here, thinking that we're going to get that retrace, and it turned around. I went in on a short, and then I came out of it. Actually got knocked out of it, and again it continued up, yeah. So I started to realize that this here is looking very similar. Rather than getting this correction here, we just got a very small one here, and then it pumped. So literally you can see the whole pattern playing out here. You can see the whole pattern playing out here, yeah. And you can see it does a high, then it does a higher high, and we have our high, and we have our higher high here. So you can see literally the whole thing playing out. Now this is where, and equally as well, if you look at the RSI here, the RSI, this went all the way up to the red line here, which is the highest peak that on the 1 hour the RSI goes to, or has gone to in past history, where we made it just slightly below the orange line here, yeah, which is a more common. It's a high peak, and it's a more common one. Very few RSIs get up here. So now, when it comes to the breakout, is we are super close to it. Now I'm trying to show you on this chart, okay? And the drawings. Okay, so so now what I want you to notice is on the daily, look where the VWAP is. The VWAP is right up here. So there's going to be a lot of sideways, because this VWAP is going to have to either go up or reverse down, yeah? Now, the 2-day turned as well. So the VWAP is right up here for the 2-day as well. So now what does that mean? Is when we go back to, there's 2 places I was looking at. Here's one. So here's one here. Now this fits in on this map here. These are the places we're talking about where we're here. So see this here? This is the same place on the daily. Rather than the hourly, it's on the daily, and you can see the VWAP pushed. You got a high, you got a higher high. You have a correction down here, and again, it only goes so far because the VWAP is up, and then the next day is you get a lift and then a drop because the VWAP has time to turn. You get this V turn, and it gave a very nice 702 entry for a short here, yeah. So I do believe we're going to have a drop first, a correction. Now you'll notice that here, this drop to here, when I put the fibs on it, so from this movement to this movement, and now reverse it from down to top to bottom, there's the 786. It gave a very deep correction. It came back up, and then it dumped another big wick. Okay, so now that was that one. Now I'm going to look at this as the 1 day. Put it in the same place. Look, the 2 day is in the same place. The 2 day was down, and the 1 day was up. So it was only the 1 day where the VWAP was. Oh, sorry, it's pointing at the wrong place. My apologies. The VWAP here is up on the 1 day, and here it is here, waiting for the. There we go. You can see the VWAP was up as well on the 2 day, but not as high. Excuse me, not as high. And there's a reason why I'm saying this. Is how long is this going to last? Because the VWAP was up on the daily on this one, but not the 2 day. So it lasted 1 day here, another day here, so 3 days in total. And then there was a dump. A correction, a lift, and a dump. Now the other example I'm going to show you is this one. So this is when we pumped up here. The same thing happened. Is you got the correction, but it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days before it came down. And when I put the fib from the top to the bottom here, again, you get a very nice 786. So that I believe we're going to get a 786 correction, regardless of what direction it's going to go. And then I believe we're going to have our breakout. Now, if you look at this, here's the VWAP. See, there's the lift, and look, there's the VWAP giving it the higher high. That was the peak, and then it took another 3 days before it dropped. And again, when you put the fib on just this drop, it gives you a very nice 702 entry here. If I pull it down to this one, yeah, it still gives it. Yeah, all those give a very nice 702. So both gave a 702 entry for the correction. Now the VWAP is up here on the 1 day, but this went on for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. So let's check if the 2 day was up at this in the same position. So this might give us an indication about how long we stay at the top here. Okay, so here it is here, yeah. Okay, so now look. The 2 day is up here as well. So on the 2 day, this went on for, because this is 2 days, you'd count this as 6. So you can see that the VWAP on the 2 day was as high. So this is suggesting to me that we could be here for minimum 3 days before we get a drop, and possibly 4 or 5 days before we get our drop. Because you see this here, this is up for 2 days here, not 1 day. This isn't going to turn down. So it could drag on. It could drag on for this stays here, while on the 1 day, let's come back to the breakout here. Here it is here. On the 1 day, you can see that the VWAP may drop a little bit tomorrow. You get another little lower low. It comes up a little bit, does a double top here, and then drops. Okay. And from the top here to this here, it's a 4% move. Yeah. So, so this is what I think is going to happen. Most likely, it's going to be something like this. Going to get drawn out a little bit more. My only caveat is with it is things moved, like this whole move here. This whole move took, when we're here, the 19th of December to the peak of this was the 27th. Took 6 days. So from the bottom here is this the 13th of February, and the peak is the 15th. It took 2 days. So 6 days for this, 2 days for this. So the VWAP was 1 day on this, was up, well, sorry, here. The VWAP was 1 day here. Only the 1 day VWAP was up here. The 2 day wasn't up here. I think that's where the difference is. On this one here, the VWAP for the 1 day and the 2 day were here. So we get this lift. We get much more drawn out sideways, a little drop here. We get the final lift. And I do believe is that by the end of today, whatever this bottoms out, this will be our range. So wherever the bottom is, and this might be it here already, the range might already be set here. Wherever this bottom is here, whatever is on the daily, wherever this bottoms out, is it looks like we could have our range. Our range there at about 40.23 for a short, yeah. So that's what I'm looking at, and then it might get drawn out for that. This could go on sideways for a bunch of days till the VWAP on the second day, on the 2 day takes a turn as well, yeah. And then I believe we're going to have a 786 correction. So at 37.08 or so, yeah. What did I say the entry was? 40.08. So potentially I'm looking at a short entry at 40.08. Stop loss at, I'd say 40.50, keep it nice and tight. And then a target at 37.08. And then after that, I think we're super close to the breakout, yeah. And then the question is, I really don't know. I know what I think it's going to be, but the more I look at the daily MAs, is this could pump as much as it would dump. On this descending channel here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, again possibly a 6 down here. If I really wanted to move this channel up to here, you could nearly say this is 1, 2, no, can't do it. Can't do it. Anyway, we've had 2 touches at the bottom here. Generally we're looking for a third, yeah. in this smaller channel, we could be getting our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then our 6 here. It would break a lower low. We could be getting our 6. Yeah. If it's going to spill down, yes. On this potential channel here is when I see a drop down like this and come up like this, I count this as 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, if we're going to get our breakout, we get our 5 up to here, around 48. We come, maybe even before that, we get our back test onto the blue line here. And then we continue on up. That's what I would be looking for. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there you go, up that way. So I don't know. So what I'm looking for is a short. Again, let's just stick the fibs on here. And a 786. 786 would bring it back onto this purple line here, yeah. And that would give us a bounce off that. So we got to see, got to see where it wants to go, yeah. So that's what I'm looking for. A short here, probably going to drag on for a day or two before it happens. After that, we're going to get a little bounce, because you get a little bounce on this is one here. Look, there's the there's the 786 correction here. You get a little bounce up here, and then it decided to dump. So you get a little bounce on a 1, 2 like this. Is if I see a little 1, 2 like this here, again I'll be looking to stick a little fib on a 702, and then following that short down. That's what I'll be looking for there, yeah. If we are going to pump, it's a different scenario. Is here's the lift, here's the sideways for 5 days, here's our 786, is the bottom here, and then it just up it goes, yeah. Just out of curiosity. Actually, let me correct myself here. Here's the bottom here. Yeah, there's the range. Yeah, there was a 702 for the lift. So let me correct myself a little bit here, yeah. Here. With the 786 here, very interesting. So you see here, when this 786 happened, it came down, and we got more of a V. We got more of a V-shaped bounce here, which indicates it's weak. So we get a V shape, and the reason why I'm saying that is because look, it didn't offer. It didn't offer, and here's the bottom one here. It didn't offer a 702. Even if I tried to do it here, it didn't offer a 702 because the lift was high and was a V shape here, yeah. So a V shape indicates that the lift is weak. So therefore the continuation down. So that's what I'll be looking for. One of the things I'll be looking for now when it gets down here is when this bottoms out, we get a bottoming out here. Again, 786, we'll see it bottom out around this range, is we get a lift here, and if it offers a 702, you can see the triple bottom here. It offers a more rooted bottom, a stable bottom for a lift, and there's the 702. So that's what I'll be looking for. Sometimes it's difficult to catch. So if I miss it, and it starts to lift up like this, I see it heading back up here, I'll look to follow it up, and I will look for a 702 in, actually, by the way, I'll look for a 702, oh, my apologies, I was correct. From the bottom to the top here. Okay, it didn't offer it there. Lifts, it drops, lifts again, it offers it here. Okay, so there's a 702 there. Now the only challenge with that is, again, look, sure would have lifted and then knocked me out, yeah. So again, I would go again. And I would play from there, and then from here it offers a 702. 702. There you go. You can see what I'm. You see basically what I'm pointing out here is that excuse me. If you miss your entry at the bottom, is looking for a 702 entry at the top. Yeah. Equally, you could you play it on this here? Oh, very sweet. Okay, so look, there's another way to play it. Is here's where it bottoms out and it pumps. It comes down for a correction. So on this lift, there's a sweet 702, and then on up you go. Yeah. But this one just takes a little bit more patience to let play out. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So they're my thoughts. It's fairly straightforward today. Could it do something else and just continue to pump? Yes. If it's going to do anything, it will pump. Is the stock for the day and the 2 day, or the VWAP for the day and the 2 day are right up. So unless the market makers really tear it down, it's not going anywhere. So I think it's more inclined, if what I say isn't going to happen, it's more inclined that it's going to continue on up. Yeah. I think the challenge with that is the stocks. There's the hours bottomed out, but the 2 hours topped out, 3 hours topped out, 4 hour, they're all super high. All the way up to the 12 hour, you can see the 12 hours topping out here, yeah. So all these would indicate to me that this is going to dump, because all these are going to top out. They're going to stay topped out for a bunch of days. They'll reset once if it goes on for 4 or 5 days, but the lower time frames will reset. The higher time frames, they're all going to top out and be really, really high. And then on the daily, this gives the daily stock a little bit of time to get a little bit of a lift for another turn down. Same the 2 day, 1 day here, 2 day, 3 days already coming down, 4 days coming down, 5 day, 6 day needs a turn, weekly needs a turn, and the monthly's cresting to a turn already. Yeah. I did point out before, this is the last thing I'm going to say, is the RSI on the daily hasn't bottomed yet. And I was suggesting the other day that we got this drop here, we get this lift up here, and then there's this dump. And potentially this is what we're looking at the same. We've got this drop, we get this lift, and then we get this dump. Now when we look at where that is on the chart, you won't be surprised to find that this place on the chart here you can see now, here's all this sideways action. Yeah? Since we dropped down, here's this whole consolidation pattern. Yeah, and you can see here, you can see this here is this here on the RSI with the bearish divergence. You're getting the drop. Look, you get this sharp lift up. Look, you get this sharp lift up. And then after that, you get a drop. After that, you get a drop. So now, here we are here again. We've had the bearish divergence on the daily. Bearish divergence on the daily is we've had this sharp lift up here, and then the daily needs to drop. Okay? Excuse me. So now, this is a much smaller move. You can see the volumes are much smaller. So one of the things I'll be watching for here is not necessarily that we had this massive drop. The daily might drop here, and we might just get our 786 because the volumes are much smaller. The daily may just bottom out and give us a 786 here. You know, or we get a much bigger move, and from the top here to the bottom is a 39% move, yeah. So now a 20% move here is a 32 and a 40% move is 24.50, 24. So now look at this lift here. If we put a fib on it, and all the way down to the 786 is a 32. So we may just get a 786 correction of this move here down to 32. It still leaves the door open for a pump, but we could get the bigger move of 40, which would take us down to 25, which would take us down to that next level. And again, you can see on the channel down is taking us closer to this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and potentially 6 down here. Yeah. So I know I said this is the last thing I'm going to say. This is the last thing I'm going to say. Is I was talking to you before about these lifts here in the RSI. These here, when it goes this high, is the corrections on these are the drop down from these are between a minimum 20% to 40% move. That's the general range that they're in when it goes this high. Now, it hasn't gone this high this time, but generally it's a 20 to 40% move. So we could get our 786 correction for this little move here, a little lift, and then our down to 32. We could get 32, 31.50, 32 would be our 786 correction of this move. Okay, and that would complete all this. And then in this situation, we may get another lift up, and then we could go for a bigger dump, or it decides to pump. Okay, or maybe this is it. This is it. We get our little correction here, and then up we go. So they're all my possibilities as it is. If we're coming down, that looks like the pathway we're going to take. This correction here, little lift, 20% for the 786 here, a little lift, and then the 40% taking us down to about 24. And that's us breaking through to, I said this previously, we have 3 levels here. I'll put this on the daily. Yeah. This is why I am biased to another level down. Yeah, simply because waiting for this here. You've got 1, 2, 3 levels up, and we have 2 levels down. We don't have the third yet. So we got to see if that's going to happen, and that would begin to take us down 24. A bit of a consolidation, potentially taking us down to the 19 range or so. Or as I said, we're done. As you can see, this consolidation range here, you get the drop, you get the lift to set the range. There's the lower low, the bottom here. Here's the higher high. We don't get our lower low here. Is we get a lift back up to the high volume level here. Now we're bouncing off the point of control, this red line here. We're bouncing off this point of control here. We can have our correction and bounce off it again, and then on we go. Break out of this channel, do a back test, and then on we go. So that's absolutely a pathway we could have, and that would take us out of this consolidation range, and up we go. Or we have our next level. Here, here. Bounce off this line. See this line here? Again, look at that 30, 31 or so. That will be our 786 correction of this. Is do a little bounce up here, and then head on down for 24 or so. And again, you can see on this red channel here, 1, 2, 3, and here's our 4 here. Make that red so you can see it. And we're continuing on down this channel, yeah. Anyway, you can see what I'm thinking, yeah. So I think we've got a couple of days of patience. And we just got to let this play out. At the end of today, I'll see where my range is set, and I'm going to put my short in. And nice tight stop loss, and we'll just take it from there. Okay, so that's me. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Let's start a little bit with some context. So what happened yesterday? We had, I'm going to go into more details tonight because I'll have a bit more time. And tonight, I plan on making a more reflective session on what happened this week overall. And what happened this month overall, because I believe it's a month-long process here, and it's the longest consolidation I've seen as a trader, and I am, as much as I am, how can I say, I'll use the word frustrated because I haven't traded this on the 15-minute, because the 15-minute seems to be the only time frame to take signals on at the moment. I am happy I didn't trade this without stop losses, because it would have been a lot of either liquidations, or it would have been a deeper DCA order in until the market gets to this point where it would give me profit. So I'll show you tonight the two trades that I made on Bitcoin. They both got stop lossed out, but together they were a 5% stop loss. I went in with half of my position in both of them. I would have been liquidated had I not DCA'd in both of them. So to me, any such fast move that's not backed up technically is a liquidity grab. Maybe I'm oversimplifying, but that more often than not I was proven correct. And the challenge here is, I'll explain it. I don't know if it's mindfulness terms, to stay with the frustration and let this all play out, and then when again, I'll be talking about myself because it's the safest place to talk from. When I have clear technical signals as per my strategy, start a position. At the moment, I don't. And at the moment, what I'm watching for is what Roy was talking about for XRP, a 20% or so move to the downside, which would be a great correction of this. And that's what my TA says. Whatever happens in the market, my strategy can't be undermined. That's the rule I go by, because it's a matter of how many times it's worked rather than how many times it hasn't. So pattern interrupting is a way to get liquidity back after building up confidence. So that's where risk management, aka stop losses or smaller positions, comes in. Anyways, again, I'll do a more structured session, because at the moment I'm letting my ideas not fester, bubble, letting my ideas bubble and come to me throughout the day, and I'm going to structure them and put them together in a more technical session tonight, and I'll be recording it and uploading it for tomorrow, together with the weekend levels, of course. So just to summarize what happened yesterday. So yesterday, Friday, we had the core retail sales that were quite positive. Now, I've got an article that I will be sharing with you. As positive as they were, they weren't particularly, where is it? There it is. They weren't particularly massive, but they did show improvement. So that correlated with Tuesdays. Where is the Tuesdays European, the ECB speech, Lagarde? Yes, so the European, basically the Eurozone has the same inflation target of 2% as the US, and they plan to increase the rates, which I believe is going to happen in the US as well. So The market is sort of like ignoring what's going on, ignoring that recession, and there's also an inverted bond curve as well. There are significant macro signals that point to this being a bear market rally. But the big question is, how come we got the DXY putting in a higher high on the daily, and the coins putting in, well, Bitcoin putting in a higher high on the daily? How come that happened? And to me, the answer is market manipulation, again, running for liquidity. There have been a lot of shorts being built in this area of consolidation, both for the DXY and also for Ethereum here, and then BTC here. So and there is still a lot of liquidity around the 25.2 area. So the question is it going to get there or not? So we have a range of contradictions in the market. First, the DXY should be going the opposite way, but it went the same way. The move by the coins was significant, even though volumes were not particularly so, and it's coming after this, so increasing sales volume. We haven't yet had a decrease, like a slow decrease on the daily, on the MACD, which is again what would make this sustainable. And most importantly, we haven't had any significant correction of this. Now tonight, what I plan, it's also on my TA list, is to show a lift from a bear market and how it happens gradually, and I will be back testing it just to see the differences between this swing as a rally and then the previous ones. Now, we've had the DXY going up yesterday, we've had the coins going up yesterday, we've had the S&P going up yesterday. Now the S&P couldn't put in a higher high yesterday. It closed below the previous day, and at the moment it looks like a 1-2 for the way down. I don't want to be particularly negative about this. I'm gonna just put a, not negative, negative's not the wrong, negative's the wrong word for this. I mean bearish. I believe we are in a markdown area. I believe we're not, again, macro and fundamental and world level. Where is the liquidity going to come from for those massive pumps? And I can see a lot of FUD, both FUD and FOMO in the market. I believe that this lift was a liquidity grab for shorts. There have been a huge amount of articles coming out at the weekend and Monday and Tuesday. I was quite surprised, the whole Paxos thing, Binance. There was another thing. Slips my mind. My mind's really slow today. There was a lot of FUD coming out before this pump, which is, again, when the market is fearful, be greedy. When the market is greedy, be fearful. But now, again, there's a fair bit of greed in the market. Anyways, sorry, I'm just waffling now. Anyways, for the S&P, we haven't managed to put in a higher high, and we have reached, if we're taking this swing down, which was a 0.5 correction of this swing, we've reached a 1.272 correction. Now we are still holding support, so the S&P is the same as BTC and ETH. They're both holding support on the three of them are holding support on the daily. Now, here we are above the 20 EMA on the daily for Bitcoin, which is something that changes sentiment. The same for Ethereum. Now, Ethereum hasn't yet broken the previous higher high on Bybit, but we do have a lift in the stochastic continuing. Now, having said that, this should be the ETH. Just a second. you know what, I won't be loading it now. Having said that, I will take you to the 4-hour structure, the 4-hour stochastic and the regular RSI finally, because I was mentioning it in the chats yesterday, is in the overbought area. So I am starting to get signals of this being this coming close to an end. However, here we are, the 12-hour. Now the 12-hour, what is how can I say suspicious to me, is we've come all the way from here in this big overbought area. We haven't yet reset to the bottom, and then we lift it back up. So I'm looking at what happened here as a similar pattern, and then what happened maybe again here as a similar pattern. So coming up from the overbought, you know, I have this thing where the RSI needs to balance, and that's my go-to when in times of uncertainty, like so I'm like, which side is imbalanced? Where is the imbalance of this? So I'm looking at this here again. I might take this as well, but it did touch on the 20. Let me just make it a little bit bigger to see the, just ever so slightly. Yeah. So now that I've marked this, I want to see where this is in the chart, and we have it here in the peak formation, we have it here in the first descent, we have it here in the second consolidation, and here it is here. Now, is this the lift out, or is this the third step down? Because we have peak formation, step 1, level 1, consolidation, level 2. Here's the consolidation, and here this whole consolidation, the 12-hour RSI had to take a dip down to reset, and it did so. And we can see that once it gets to that space of overbought, it does a generous swing down. And this is what I'm waiting for trade-wise. And I told you I am going to be very patient, because this is going to be a very juicy 4-hour trade. It will give us plenty of chances, because as you can see, we're going through 12-hour levels at the moment. We are at the top of the 12-hour range, and we will be coming down through 12-hour ranges, and we're talking about 33% profits, again 35% profits. So this is what I am waiting for, very patiently waiting for. So that's with the strategy that I'm doing right now with the tight stop losses. Basically, I can put all my trading capital in one position, one such position. I can start with half if it's more than 10% in stop loss, and then I would DCA on confirmation. So the confirmation would be on the 4-hour or the 12-hour breaking of support, and it would be quite clear, and that would allow me to get a lot of profit from moves like this. So that's what I'm waiting for, and this is what my TA indicates. Now, can the market makers push this up to high heavens? Yes, they could, until the daily again reset up high. Yes, it could, but we have the same issue. The daily hasn't reset in a long time. Again, I can't say what's going to happen. What I can say is be patient and also make measured decisions. So now going into the practicality of this, here we are on, I extended this, gonna switch this to the 1 hour. Here we are on the 1 hour levels, and the 1 hour levels are indicating continuation. We are holding continuation. The 1 hour stochastic has reset to the bottom. Do we have signals for a 15-minute? No, at the moment the 15-minute is up high. Could you trade this up and down to the next level on the 15-minute? Absolutely, you could. Watch for the 15-minute signals, and as long as you're very mindful. You can put an 0618 as a double bottom formation. This is what I would be doing right now if I wanted to trade the 15-minute. I don't. I'm waiting for that bigger 4-hour trade. Here is where the entry would be, 1661, and then I would be waiting, tight stop loss below this. If I, again, not more than 5% because it's not worth it. You could follow the momentum up for one more lift, or follow the momentum down for these corrections. Where we are right now, I can't say it's not tradable because it is 2-3% on the 15-minute. If you're watching it, you could be making it up and down in literally an hour, but you have to be mindful to put your stop losses in, because where we are in the psychology of this, how can I say, uncertainty, the market could go either way, and you want to be as adaptable as possible. That's the goal. So it's not necessarily winning or losing right now, it's staying adaptable, because the bigger move is gonna come. Now this might also do on the daily if it goes up to the next level. I'm going to show for Ethereum, and I'm going to show for Bitcoin. I don't know why I started with Ethereum. Sometimes I start with Ethereum. It could do a consolidation along these lines, the way it did so here. If it does that, happy days. Again, it's a great opportunity to trade on the 15-minute, and it is a 7% range. And if it does so, I'll keep you updated, and I'll tell you, you know, this is the range, this is the level. You can trade it up and down. Even if you miss the first swing up and the first swing down, as we had it here, there are still plenty more swings. But you know the challenges here in consolidations. You need to watch it, or you need to be very conservative with your take profits. You know this. You know this. Okay, so BTC, here we are on the daily, still holding levels of support and resistance. I've already posted this, liquidity around 25.2. Now, what I want to say, and I will repeat it tonight, is we haven't had confirmation that we're going out of the bear market, and that confirmation will be the 28.2 for me, because this would be the M formation and we're coming back up, and then we need to take out the previous high. That's technically what I do in terms of validation of or invalidation of the previous level. So I don't have that confirmation. I can't say we're out of the mark down area. For ETH, I'm taking this as the M formation, and that would be 2200. We need to break this, and then we need to put a higher high with conviction, and that is essential. And we might end up waiting when we are around that peak formation for November, December, a whole month here waiting for another peak. But patience is key. It's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. I'd rather wait outside of any position than wait in a position in the wrong direction. As frustrating as it is, but that's again the sort of like psychology of trading. Anyways, so we still haven't, I don't have my technical levels met for leaving the bear market. I don't have my 10 articles going for, oh, Bitcoin going to 56, 100K, 200K, even 30K. We haven't gone through that level of resistance to be able to say that. Technically, there's no argument for such a move. Now, locally for BTC, here is the chart that I have for the 1 hour, the channel. that I put in this morning, and I believe this might be playing out. I need to see how the support and resistance lines go, but that's it. We might see another lift up here, 25.2, catching that liquidity, and then down we go. And these lines would be indicating a little bit more, a little bit sooner the moves. Here we are in our 1 hour arc, and the technical move of this. So for ETH it's 1780, 1790. For BTC it's 25.4, 25.2. Here we are. This would be the measured target from here, this consolidation up to the breakout. However, you know, I've been saying this, I don't mind being wrong as long as I'm not losing money. This has been one straight up swing without any particular sustainability retracement or correction. So we need to see that in order to continue sustainably to the upside. That is it from me.